In 2007, Steve Jobs changed the world with a single sentence.
Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
17 years later, another revolution is reshaping technology. But this time, Apple isn't leading it. This is the story of how the world's most valuable company lost trillions in the AI wars. For over a decade, Apple seemed untouchable. The iPhone was printing money, literally. In 2023 alone, Apple generated over $380 billion in revenue. Their market cap soared past $3 trillion. They were the undisputed king of consumer technology. But while Apple was perfecting their walled garden, a storm was brewing in Silicon Valley. November 30th, 2022. OpenAI releases ChatGPT to the public. Within 5 days, it reaches 1 million users. Within 2 months, 100 million. The AI revolution had begun, and Apple was nowhere to be seen. How did the company that gave us Siri in 2011, the first mainstream AI assistant, fall so far behind? Let's rewind.
What is the weather like today?
In 2010, Apple acquired Siri for $200 million. It was revolutionary. Voice commands that actually worked. For a brief moment, Apple owned the future of AI. But then something happened. Or rather, something didn't happen. While competitors invested billions in AI research, Apple treated Siri like a feature, not a platform. Google was building DeepMind. Microsoft was partnering with OpenAI. Amazon was creating Alexa. Apple was focused on making phones thinner. The signs were everywhere. In 2017, Google's AI could beat the world champion at Go, one of the most complex games ever created. Apple's AI still couldn't set a timer without Wi-Fi. 2018, GPT-1 is released. 2019, GPT-2. 2020, GPT-3 shocks the world, each breakthrough widening the gap between Apple and the AI leaders. Where was Apple during this AI arms race? Building the iPhone 14, which looked exactly like the iPhone 13, which looked exactly like the iPhone 12. While AI was rewriting the rules of technology, Apple was perfecting the art of iterative design. Before we jump to the next part, let me introduce you to us. We have just started our journey in the world of YouTube. We need 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. It would be our pleasure if you can like and subscribe to this channel and be a part of our journey. June 2024. Apple finally wakes up. At WWDC, they announce Apple Intelligence, their answer to ChatGPT. The crowd applauds, but the tech world knows the truth. Apple is playing catch-up. But wait, it gets worse. Fast forward to WWDC 2025, 2.5 hours of presentation about new features, software updates, and nothing, not a single mention of AI breakthroughs. Siri completely disappeared from the keynote. It was as if Apple's AI assistant had been erased from existence. But here's the most damaging revelation of all. Apple Intelligence isn't even Apple's intelligence. It's powered by OpenAI. Let's talk numbers. In early 2023, Apple's market cap peaked at $3.1 trillion. By late 2024, as AI stocks soared, Apple had lost over $500 billion in value. Meanwhile, Nvidia, the picks and shovels of the AI gold rush, became the world's most valuable company. Microsoft, with their OpenAI partnership, added $800 billion to their market cap. Google's AI innovations boosted them by $400 billion. Apple, they watched from the sidelines as trillions in market value shifted to AI-first companies. But the AI failure isn't happening in isolation. Apple is on a losing streak that would make any CEO's nightmare. March 2024. The US Department of Justice files a massive antitrust lawsuit accusing Apple of having a smartphone monopoly. The government is literally trying to break up Apple's business model. February 2024, Apple cancels Project Titan, their decade-long multi-billion-dollar effort to build an Apple car. After 10 years and approximately 2,000 employees working on the project, they simply gave up. A $95 million settlement over Siri privacy violations. Their AI assistant was literally spying on users without consent. Another lawsuit for false advertising over Apple Intelligence features that were delayed and didn't work as promised. When you're fighting the government, abandoning decade-long projects, and facing lawsuits over the very AI technology you're supposed to be leading, that's not just a rough patch. That's a company in crisis. The AI revolution isn't just about chatbots, it's reshaping every aspect of technology, and Apple is losing ground on multiple fronts. Search. Google's AI-powered search keeps users in their ecosystem. Apple's deal with Google for default search, now worth less as AI answers replace traditional search. Productivity. Microsoft's Copilot transforms Office into an AI powerhouse. Apple's equivalent, still in beta. Cloud services. Amazon and Microsoft dominate AI cloud infrastructure. Apple's cloud, great for syncing photos, irrelevant for the AI economy. Enterprise businesses are building on OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google's AI platforms. Apple's enterprise presence, practically non existent. Think about this: Apple built a $1 trillion empire on one principle: keep users locked in their ecosystem. Buy an iPhone, get sucked into iMessage, iCloud, App Store, Apple Pay. The walled garden was impenetrable. But Apple Intelligence breaks that chain. For the first time in company history, Apple is sending their users, all 1.2 billion iPhone users, including 50% of all smartphone users in America, directly to a competitor's AI platform. Every time you ask Siri a complex question, you're not talking to Apple, you're talking to OpenAI. Apple has essentially become a middleman in their own ecosystem. The company that once boasted, "What happens on your iPhone stays on your iPhone," is now saying, "What happens on your iPhone goes straight to OpenAI servers." What happens when AI assistants become so powerful that you don't need to look at a screen? When smart glasses can answer any question, translate any language, and recognize any object in real time? Suddenly, the iPhone, Apple's $200 billion cash cow, looks like a very expensive rectangle. Early indicators are troubling for Apple. Gen Z increasingly relies on AI for tasks that once required apps. Voice interactions are replacing touch interfaces. The very concept of downloading apps feels antiquated when AI can do anything on command. Apple built the most profitable product in history by controlling the hardware, software, and services stack. But in an AI first world, the intelligence is in the cloud, and Apple doesn't control that cloud. So, how much has Apple's AI blindness cost them? Conservative estimates put it at over $1 trillion in lost market value and missed opportunities. $500 billion in market cap erosion as investors fled to AI stocks. $300 billion in potential cloud and enterprise revenue they'll never capture. $200 billion in future iPhone sales at risk as AI devices replace smartphones. But the real cost isn't financial, it's existential. For the first time since the 1990s, Apple faces an existential crisis. They're no longer the future. They're the past trying desperately to catch up. Can Apple recover? They have the cash. $162 billion sitting in the bank. That's enough to buy companies like Perplexity, valued at just $15 billion, like pocket change. Imagine this scenario. Apple goes all out, acquires Perplexity and other AI startups, and builds their own ChatGPT killer. The iPhone 17 launches with a complete redesign, the first true visual overhaul in years, powered by Apple's own AI that finally matches or exceeds OpenAI. It's possible. Apple has reinvented themselves before, from computers to music to phones, but this time feels different. Maybe Apple's AI is ready, sitting in Cupertino Labs waiting for the perfect moment. Maybe the iPhone 17 will be their iPhone moment all over again, the device that makes all other AI assistants look primitive. But here's the brutal reality: every day Apple waits, OpenAI gets stronger. Every month they delay, Google pulls further ahead. Every quarter they hesitate, they lose more ground in the intelligence age. It's the fundamental shift from the information age to the intelligence age. And Apple? They're still selling information age devices in an intelligence age world. The company that once urged us to think different now needs to think different about everything: their products, their strategy, their very identity. Because in the AI wars, there are no participation trophies. You either lead the revolution or you become its casualty. And right now, Apple is losing trillions.